Hi friends, welcome to Sada Learning Hub. You are with me, Sada Shivrao. Today's session we are going to learn arrays in Java programming language. Now, an array is a indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous data elements. The main advantages of arrays is we can represent multiple values with the same name so that readability of the code will be improved. But the main disadvantages of arrays is fixed in size. That is, once we created an array, there is no chance to increase or decrease the size based on your requirement. That is, to use arrays compulsory, we should know the size in advance, which may not possible always. We can resolve this problem by using the collections. Next, we are going to discuss about array declaration. How to declare a single dimensional array. See this here, int open square and close square a semicolon. This is the one type of declaration single dimensional array. It is recommended to use because name is clearly separated from the type. See, this is an int, say integer data types. A is a variable name. It holds the integer values. This is the one more type of declaration. This is the one more type of declaration. At the time of declaration, we can't specify the size. Otherwise, we will get compile time error. For example, see here, int array a, it's a valid. Int a of 5 a, it is invalid. Why? Because at the time of declaration, we can't specify the size. Next, how to declare the two-dimensional array. See here, some declarations are there. These are all valid. Now, how to declare the three-dimensional array? These are the all valid declarations of three-dimensional array. Next, if we want to specify the dimensions before the variable, that rule is applicable only for first variable. Second variable onwards, we can't apply the same declaration. See this, if we want to specify the dimensions before the variables, for example, this is like this, these are the dimensions before the variable. If we want to specify the dimensions before a variable, the rule is applicable only for the first variable. Like this, it's a first variable. Second variable onwards, we can't apply the same declaration. For example, I can show int array a1 comma b1. It is a valid int array a2 comma b2. It is also a valid. It's like one more declaration int array a3 comma b3. This is also one type of declaration. See here, int array A, comma, array B. See here, this is not a valid. Why? Because here is identifier is expected. Next, we are going to discuss about array construction. Every array in a Java is an object. Hence, we can create by using new operator. For example, int array A is equal to new int array of 3. For every array type, corresponding classes are available, but these classes are part of Java language and not available to the programmer level. For example, if you can see int array, this is an array type and the corresponding class is like this. These are not available to the programmer level. Here we need to follow some rules for the array construction. For example, rule 1. At the time of array creation, compulsory we should specify the size. Otherwise, we will get compile time error. For example, if you see int a is equal to new int of 3. This is a valid construction of an array. If you go with one more example, int a is equal to new int. This is the invalid construction of an array. Why? Because array dimension is missing. See here. Here array dimension is missing. And rule number 2. It is legal to have an array with size 0 in Java. Now we can declare array like this. It is also possible to declare array size with 0. It is illegal to have an array with the size 0 in Java. Next, rule number 3. If we are taking array size with negative int value, then we will get runtime exception saying negative array size exception. For example, if you see this example, here I am giving -3. It gives the exception negative size of an exception. And go with rule number 4. The allowed data type to specify array size are byte, short, char, int. By mistake, if we are using any other type, we will get compile time exception. See this example, int array a is equal to new int of, I am putting single quote with a. This is a valid declaration. And one more, byte b is equal to 10. Now I am creating int array a is equal to new int of b. This is also valid because b variable contains the byte value 10. Now one more example, int array a is equal to new int of 10.5. This is invalid. Why? Because possible loss of precision. This is array doesn't take floating point numbers. See this rule. The allowed data types to specify array size, the allowed data type to specifies the array size are byte, short, character, integer. It doesn't allow the array size floating point numbers. By mistake, if we are using any other types, we will get compile time error. And the next rule, the maximum allowed size in Java is maximum value of that int size. For example, int a1 is equal to new int of 2147483 647. This is the integer size. This is the maximum integer size. For example, this is a valid declaration. For example, if you are going to 8, if you are going here is 8, this is not a valid declaration. Why? Because integer number too long. This is invalid. This is a valid declaration. Next, how to declare a two-dimensional arrays. In Java, multi-dimensional arrays are implemented as array of arrays approach, but not a matrix form. The main advantages of this approach is to improve the memory utilization. If you go with the, for example, if you see here in this diagram, I am creating a two-dimensional array with the name A. Here is I am giving A size is 2. That's why here is the two elements. Now I am creating A element inner array, that is the size 3 elements. A of 1 inner size is 2 elements. And next we are going to discuss about array initialization. Whenever we are creating an array, every element is initialized with the default values automatically. For example, if you see this example, int a is equal to new int of 3. If you print this one, a variable syst system dot out dot ln a, what it prints is, it prints the reference of the memory location. If you print if we print the element of that variable, like a of 0, a of 1, what it prints is 0. Why? Because the default values of integer is 0. Whenever we are creating an array, every element is initialized with the default value automatically. Whenever we are trying to print any object reference, internally toString method will be executed, which is implemented by default to return the following class name at the rate of hexadecimal string representation of the hash code. Next, we are going to discuss about array declarations and construction initialization in a single line. We can perform a declaration, construction, and initialization of an array in a single line like this. For example, I can show you one example for you. In array A, I am declaring a variable of array with the name A. Now, I can create the object of initializing the variable with the size of 3. Now I am storing the values into that array with these values. Array of 0 is equal to 10, array of 1 is equal to 20, array of 3 is equal, 2 is equal to 30. See here, this is a multiple lines to creating the array. For these multiple lines, I am creating single line. How it is int a is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30. See here, you are creating array with a variable name a, the size of 3, and storing the values in 5 lines. But I am creating array with the variable name a and storing the values in a single line to, like this. Next, length versus length method. Now we are going to discuss with length. It is the final variable applicable only for arrays. It represents the size of an array. For example, new int of 3. Now I am printing this one. See, if you are printing the length method to print the length of an array by using length method, it gives the cannot find the symbol. We are getting the exception is cannot find the. If you print this one like this, dot length, it prints 3. Why? Because the length, just length, It is a final variable applicable only for arrays. It represents the size of an array. Next, we are going to discuss about length method. It is a final method applicable for string objects. It returns the number of characters present in the string. I can show one example. String s is equal to Sada learning hub. S dot length. Length. See here, this length gives the exception, cannot find the symbol. Here, this length method gives the how many characters are available in the string variable. How many characters available? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, the Sada Learning Hub, the string length is 15. That means 15 characters are available in that one. Next, length variable applicable only for arrays, where our length method is applicable for string objects. Next, we are going to discuss about anonymous arrays. Sometimes we can create an array without name. Such type of nameless arrays are called anonymous arrays. The main objective of anonymous arrays is just for instance use. We can create anonymous arrays as follows. See here, we are not creating a variable. Just we are creating without variable like this new int array of this, like this is a valid, this is a multidimensional. At the time of anonymous arrays creation, we can't specify the size, otherwise we will get compile time error. For example, new int of 3, 10, 20, 30, 40. See here is gives the error. Why? Because we are giving a size of that array. At the time of anonymous arrays creation, we can't specify the size. Otherwise, we will get a compile time error. Here, we are specifying the size of the array. That's why we are getting the compile time error. And one more example is, for example, we are taking this only. I am removing the size. This is the valid one. Why? Because anonymous arrays can't specify the size. This is a valid one. Based on our programming requirement, we can give the name of anonymous arrays, then it is no longer anonymous. Next, we are going to discuss about array element assignments. For example, case 1. In the case of primitive arrays as array elements, any type is allowed which can be promoted to declared types. For example, for the int type arrays, the allowed array elements types are byte, short, character, int. Showing an example. Int a is equal to new int of 10, right? I am storing the values into the array a of 0 is equal to 97. This is valid because it is an integer. A of 1 is equal to a. It is also a valid. Why? Because primitive arrays as array elements any type of allowed which can be promoted to the declared types. I am creating an integer array. It allows the element byte, short, character, int. For example, I am creating a byte variable with value 10. I am storing into the array element is equal to b. It is also a valid. For example, I am storing a of 3 is equal to some 10.25. It gives possible loss of precision. Why? Because integer array only allows byte, short, character, int. Possible loss of precision. Case number 2. In the case In the case of object type arrays, as arrays elements, we can provide either declared types objects or its child class objects. I'm giving you one more example here regarding to the case 2. I am may create an object array. Object is a superclass of all classes. A is equal to new object of 10, for example. I am storing a of 0 with new integer of 10. It is a valid. For example, a of 1 is equal to new object. It is also a valid one. Why? Because it allows every object. In the case of object type arrays, as arrays elements, we can provide either declare types on an object or it's a child class object. I'm giving an example to is I'm creating a number array with the size 10. Sorry. Example 2, number n is equal to new number of 10. number of 10. N of 0 is equal to new integer of 10. It is a valid. Now n of 1 is equal to new string of Sada learning hub. It gives incompatible type. It is not a valid. Why? Because object type arrays as arrays elements which we can provide either declare type objects or its child class objects. Now number child class integer is a parent class of a number, but string is not a parent class of number. That's why it is not saved into the number array. Why? It gives the exception incompatible types. Case number 3. In case of interface types arrays as array elements, we can provide its implemented class objects. For example, I can show one example for you guys. RUNNABLE. Runnable R is equal to new. This is an this is a interface which is type runnable. It stores the implementation classes. This is the thread. It is the thread, one of the implementation class of runnable interface. It is a valid. For example, if I am try to saving non-implemented method, new string of Sada learning hub. It gives incompatible type. Why? Because it is not an implemented class of runnable interface. See here this table, it gives the information primitive arrays, any type which can be promoted to declared types. Object type arrays, either declared types or its child class object. Interface array interface type arrays, it is an implemented class objects. Abstract class type arrays, it child class objects are allowed. Next we are going to discuss about array variable assignments. Now I can discuss with three cases in array variable assignment. Case number 1. Element level promotions are not applicable at array level. A char value can be promoted to int type, but char array cannot be promoted to integer array. For example, int a is equal to 10, 20, 30. Char ch is equal to a, b, c. Sorry, this is a. See here, int array b is equal to a. It is a valid. For example, int array c is equal to ch. It is not valid. It is an incompatible type. Why? Because a char value can be promoted to int type, but char array cannot be promoted to int array. In case of object type, array's child type, array can be assigned to parent type, array variable. Next, case number 2. Whenever we are assigning one array to another array, internal elements won't be copied, just reference variables will be reassigned. Hence, sizes are not important, but types must be matched. I can show you one example. Int array a is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now int b is equal to, int array b is equal to 80, 90. A is equal to b. It is a valid. B is equal to a. It is also valid. Why? Because whenever we are assigning one array to another array, internal elements won't be copied. See here, first array size is 7, second array size is 2. Now, internal element won't be copied, just reference variables will be assigned. Hence, sizes are not important. See, here A is 7 size, B array size is 2. See, here is sizes are not important, but types must be matched. A array is an data type. A array is integer data type. B array is integer data type. Here data types are matched. That's why it is a valid. Next, case 3. Whenever we are assigning one array to another array, dimensions must be matched that is in the place of one dimensional array. We should provide the same type, otherwise we will get compile time error. See, whenever we are assigning one array to another array, dimensions must be matched. That is in the place of one dimensional array, we should provide the same type only, otherwise we will get compile time error. I can show you one example. Int This is the case of multidimensional array. A is equal to new int of 3. A of 0 is equal to new int of 4, 5. See, this is incompatible types. A of 0 is equal to 10. This is also incompatible type. This is invalid. This is also invalid. For example, a of 0 is equal to new int of 4. This is valid. Why? Because we are assigning one array to another array. Dimensions must be matched that it is in the place of one dimensional array. We should provide the same type only, otherwise we will get compile time error. Whenever we are performing array assignments, the types and dimensions must be matched, but sizes are not important.
Thank you so much watching this video. Hope this lesson helpful to you. Keep watching our lessons. Keep writing to us. Do not forget subscribe our channel Learning Hub because we have many sessions that would help you to develop our skills, and I will be back soon. Till then you take care. Bye bye.